Fact. My name's Stuart Brisgell, and that guy's name's David Solomon. This is the Rant Network. Welcome. We bring you unfiltered, uncensored conversation on a wide variety of topics, from puke to politics, P&P. Our podcast is dedicated, like a blog, to express our opinions, our thoughts, our experiences, ideas, hear from a variety of perspectives. Like jerks in condo associations to jackasses on airlines, we're going to cover it all. Join us as we dive into news, pop culture, politics, so much more. From rants about absurdity of modern life, like this woman LaCastro, all the way down to deeper, more affecting issues like airline flight attendants and popcorn. David, we got you covered at the Rant Network. Sit back, relax, join us, like us, love us. We're going to go pretty nuclear. David. You know, you and I don't always get along. Well, maybe we do more than often. But when it comes to this topic, I don't know if we're going to agree.
Well, I'll tell you guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing to you today. Stuart talked about the absurdity of life in his intro, and I'm going to talk about absurdity of life. What do I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen? It's really simple. So, Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Anthony Bass, who is not a Canadian, Stuart, he is American, was on a flight with United Airlines, and he was on a flight with his 22-week-old pregnant wife, 5-year-old on their knees, and the 2-year-old dropped popcorn on the floor. And according to Anthony Bass, he was infuriated because United Airlines flight attendant, quote, made his wife get on the floor and pick up the, quote, popcorn mess made by his daughter. He found it absurd. Now, Sydney Ray James, Anthony Bass's wife, happens to be Jessie Decker James' sister, and even she claimed, how dare the airline, such an egregious act, make a parent clean up their child's mess. Now, I heard this. This is not a news story. This happened a couple of days ago. And my first reaction is, what a putz. And Anthony Bass, tweeted it. And of course, in the world of social media today, everybody has an opinion. And the divided remarks are, what the hell, you're a parent, your responsibility, pick it up, to how dare the airline make you pick it up, it's their freaking problem. Now, I got to tell you, as a parent, and even before I was a parent, this is really nauseous. Because before I had kids, Stuart, another couple and us, we went to the Olive Garden in Toronto, and the short story of this whole thing was, we were seated by a table of 20 odd people. We were warned. They were rowdy. They threw food. Kids were dropping past all over the place. It was a bloody mess. And when one parent, as they were leaving, got on the floor to pick it up, the other parent says, that's not your problem. That's theirs. And they left. And my friends, who were my age at the time, all of us did not have children. We all found the experience nauseating. That you are the parent. Your child made a mess. You come into a restaurant, and not that you accidentally drop something, you purposefully did something, and you're not responsible. Now, this kid is not responsible. I get it. She's 2. She doesn't know what she's doing. Doesn't pick it up. But for a parent to not even try to clean up after their own child tells me 2 things. 1, you're abdicating your responsibility as a parent. And 2, you're teaching your child that their actions aren't their own. They're responsible for their actions. Somebody else will have to pick up and clean up your mess. Stuart, I'm going to throw the ball at you, man, because frankly,
David, I mean, it's a great story. It sounds very fictitious because you don't know if the woman tried to pick it up. You don't know if she tried to control the child. You don't know any of these facts. All we know is some editorial said the woman refused and had to get involved.
That was Anthony Bass's tweet. It was Anthony Bass's tweet.
Yeah, but did she didn't say she refused. She said she's pregnant. She can't bend over.
Stuart, give me a break. So you're telling me that instead of Anthony Bass going to his wife and say, hold on a second, I will do this. No. Come on, Stuart. I find it nauseating that A, you have to tweet this Okay, because this is, I need attention. I need attention. And then I'm going to teach my children, guess what? When you make a mess, when you go over to your friend's house and you make a mess, don't clean it up. Someone else will do it for you.
David, again, David, it's my feeling you go to a restaurant, you drop stuff on the floor, you don't pick it up. If God forbid you spill a drink and it falls on the floor, you don't clean it up. Number two, it's a health hazard for them to do it to prevent someone else from having an accident. Two, if you did want to clean it up, you would ask them, can you please give me something to clean it up with? Hang on a second, David. So again, the story is just being manipulated into a spoiled brat story, when in fact the story is the airline, stewardess really didn't have a call to action that merited her involvement on demanding that this woman clean up the child's mess. I think that is totally ludicrous, especially in this day and age when you're on an aircraft and they barely take off with enough fuel to get you to where you land. What's the matter, David? Cat bit your tongue? All right. So I got another story for you on the same token, right? Because again, David and I aren't going to agree. I think that it is disgusting when kids or parents are reprimanded to clean stuff up. However, it isn't the rule of thumb that you have to. There's no law, there's no rule, there's no mandate that when you go to another person's place, you got to clean up after your kid. Morally, ethically, that's something completely different, not part of the conversation. I, however, don't judge this baseball player's wife or kids or family for any of this, because you know what? You don't know if they tried saying, hey, kid, come on, stop. But
Stuart, all I'm hearing
up by a bunch of, by the way, hang on, the standards of cleaning on airplanes are back out to the toilet, but whatever.
I hear excuses. All I hear is excuses. All I hear is a parent, why a parent can't. First of all, Anthony Bass, I find you appalling for having to tweet this type of thing. I think it's an embarrassment that this is what attention you need to bring. This is the world we're in, where I'm slighted. I feel slighted. Not only am I going to tell the whole world about it, come on, like seriously. Number two, I'm sorry, Stuart. You love to go too far by calling it biohazard. Picking up popcorn off the floor, even trying to do it. Had Bass said to them, "Listen, hey, look, I'm stuck. I'm having a," but we don't have that, because we don't have the both sides, because the flight attendant from United Airlines is not allowed to talk about this right now. Okay, they can't. But what's happened is we have Anthony Bass's version that just shows me how spoiled this guy is. Where's your effort, man? Where's your effort? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about going into a freaking chemical plant. I'm talking about picking up popcorn off a floor, which, by the way, Stuart, my kids have flown many times. They've dropped stuff on the floor. Either I did or they got on their hands and knees and they cleaned it up, or picked up some of it, most of it, whatever. Attempt a try. This is about values to me. This isn't about, oh my God, we shouldn't do it because what if there's biohazard? What if there's feces on the floor? What if, come on, enough with this stupidity.
David, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old are going to learn a valuable lesson by crawling on a dirty floor where you're incapable of cleaning yourself up. David, there is a cleaning company that's coming in there with a vacuum. It's going to vacuum it up in 3 seconds, David. I mean, really, I got nothing more to say on this.
I see what it is. You're telling me a 5-year-old can't learn a life lesson? Bull.
Nope.
I think you're full of it, and I think this is a problem with parenting today. You're not being a parent. You know what you are? You're trying to abdicate responsibilities as a parent. When we were kids, we were held accountable for our actions. And
David, 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 you're talking about a woman that is, you're leaving out the fact the woman's pregnant.
Stuart, come on! Anthony Bass isn't pregnant.
You're anti-pregnant women? What's wrong with you, David?
Stuart, Anthony Bass isn't pregnant, and I've had 3 children, and don't give me some cock and bull. I'll tell you what other thing I want you to keep in mind, all right? Mm-hmm. Think about what you just said. The cleaning crew will take care of it. So where airlines today aren't on time, struggling to get out, you're telling them, let's spend more time cleaning up, more delays, which causes a disrespect to everybody else. That's fine, because I don't care. I only care about me, my condition, not the greater good. very Western attitude today. I only care about me. I don't care about
David,
everybody
you're basing
else.
the assumption that the airline gives a shit about you. You're just
No,
a dollar
basing
bill
the
to them. They don't care.
Your
David,
assumption is that,
how much have you flown in the last 2 months, David?
Stuart, I have flown numerous times, and I got to tell you, I don't want to
Yep.
hear
It's spotless.
this
It's clean.
Stuart, you want to know what?
On time.
Stuart? I don't know about you, but yes, I have been on planes which have been clean. And you know what? When somebody takes their garbage and dumps it into the pouch there, into the pocket in front, with guck and shit and whatever, and saying, not my problem, there are garbage cans. There are garbage cans. The cleaning crew comes across all the time to come and clean up. And when people are disrespectful that way, it nauseates me. What you're continuing to push is the notion that parents don't have a job to do. It's a difficult
That's not
job.
what I'm saying.
It is.
You're advocating that this was an extreme situation.
No,
David.
You're saying that a parent doesn't have to do it because maybe there could be something on the floor that's bad. I'm sorry.
David, so I want to ask you a question, David. Let's just roll this ball forward because we're getting close to this quarter hour. If it was a crippled parent on a chair and the kid threw the crap on the floor, how can the parent get on the knees and clean it up?
Stuart,
Tell me that, David.
Stuart, you know what?
You don't get it, David. You're trying to say that everything. No, you don't. You want to make a rule. It's very easy to make a rule with a stupid situation like this and affect all kinds of people. The consequence of what you're saying is ridiculous.
Stuart, I got to tell you, a multimillionaire ball player, okay, who throws baseballs for a living.
Yes, who flies on regular airplanes, not private jets. Really.
I don't care. Who has a physical ability to throw, to run, to catch, is suddenly unable to pick up a few pieces of popcorn off the floor. That's embarrassing. And you know what, Stuart? It just shows me the value system. It just isn't there. I don't buy it. I never did. I still believe it from before I was a parent. I believe it today as a parent. I believe it as being, God willing, one day a grandparent. I will do the same thing to my grandchildren. If you make a mess, you should even make an effort to clean up.
I agree with the concept.
Here there's no try.
David, I agree with the concept. What I disagree with the fact that the stewardess went and started to demand it. This is where I disagree.
No, we don't know that. We got one person's opinion. Again, Anthony Bass, a wealthy ball player with a spoiled wife, okay? And all of a sudden, you blame they made her. Stuart, they made her? What got to that point where someone said they made her? Did they say, hey, listen, it's your responsibility, you have to clean it up? Is that what they made? We don't have the United Airlines side of it because we're never going to get it because the airline doesn't want to go there. But we don't have that side. And you especially.
You know why, David? You want to know why, David? I'll tell you why. Because then they're going to get a letter that the woman is a high-risk pregnancy person and she was not able to. Then you're going to get the next one. Then you're going to get the next one. David.
So if there was an effort made, this would be a non-story. But to me, there was no effort. And again, this is my interpretation. To me, it was, I am sorry. You need to take only me into consideration. Everything else doesn't matter. Stuart, you'll get the last word and wrap it up, okay?
Listen, there is no last word on this one, David.
All right, Stuart.
Because it's absurdity. Remember I said we talk about absurd things. That's it for today. For tuning in for this episode of the Rant Network. We hope you've enjoyed this conversation, gained some value, insights. We appreciate your support and hope you'll join us next time for more thought-provoking conversations every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. In the meantime, don't forget to follow social media, share your thoughts, send us a PM. We love you. Catch us in one of 30 different verticals. But on the next side, on the next thing, I may dive into a topic that got me so pissed off that I got to tell you, when people called condo Nazis overstep their bounds. And you know what? I think that's where I'm going to go next week, David. Condo Nazism, narcissists, and all the best. David, you don't want to go there?
Have a good weekend,
David.
everyone.